I created the most unhealthy faction in Kenshi, where the leader is morbidly a beast and has a massive food obsession. But first, we're going to need a character, and that character is going to be the leader here, Gorlock, who's going to lead our army into the age of obesity. But things didn't end up like how I expected. So Gorlock here ended up being captured by the Holy Nation and being enslaved. And this is what she looks like now. Seeing Gorlock in such a state awakened something within me. I was going to take revenge, but for now, Gorlock had to find a way to escape.
Alright, look, we gotta go.
So off the bat, this place was already horrible. I was beaten to an inch of my life and put into a pole.
Alright. I'm not squirming, I'm not resisting.
Now, usually, Gorlock would be impossible to apprehend, but right now, she's the size of this pole. At this very moment, Gorlock has two options, either die of starvation or use her skinny fingers to finger the lock. But before she could get herself free, she was given an order to go work in the mines, which actually gave us an opportunity, as you'll see.
Hold up guys, it's kinda good.
After arriving where we were supposed to work at, we did find a couple of slaves who were working, but since they're all guys, they're gonna end up becoming sacrifices to our escape.
Oh, he's coming, bro, he's coming. Yo, he's coming up here, I gotta hide, yo.
Now, I wasn't exactly following the orders of the Holy Nation who was supervising me, so I was gonna get beaten if I was caught. That's why I hid. It took a while, but Gorlock finally freed one of the sacrifices, but he decided to run off on his own and get his ass beat.
Oh my goodness, he's being attacked.
After seeing that, I'm pretty sure the two prisoners realized that they were going to have to stick with Gorlock if they actually wanted to have a chance to escape. Now, by sheer luck or intellect, Gorlock ends up actually finding the exit, but a guard manning the towers was in the way, so they first had to sneak past him. But he must have had 20/20 vision or something, because he spotted us instantly. But this is exactly why Gorlock had freed these misogynistic, sexist males in the first place. She was going to use them as a distraction. But instead of being a gentleman and giving up their lives, they instead run for their lives just like Gorlock. Chivalry is truly dead. Men don't even want to give up their lives for a feminist nowadays. I thought our plan was working because one of the guards was on the other guy. But as I ran past the guy at the gate, the other guard began chasing me. It took Gorlock a while to finally get one of them off her, but even so, the one guy was just stupidly persistent. We still had one more sacrifice, but he just didn't want to go after him. He knew that if Gorlock escaped, Gorlock would become a menace and bring vengeance upon Rebirth. Gorlock must have done or said something to this man, cause he started chasing her across the map until it was dark. And even then, he still started chasing. I tried to get his aggro onto these beast traders, but that didn't work. And then it got so dark that we couldn't even see him. After having this stalker on Gorlock's tail for like 90 hours straight, he eventually left.
In the darkness. Yeah, we made it. He has given up.
Now that Gorlock was a free woman, the first thing she did was take off her clothes. Yeah! Not for the reason you think, but it's because we don't want to look like a malnourished plantation worker. After escaping Rebirth, we ended up in Orkran's Gulf, which is where I encountered a bunch of cannibalistic Praetorians. If they spotted Gorlock, they would turn her into a happy meal in a matter of seconds. So I went to sneak. Now, it was very terrifying being around these guys, but I saw an opportunity, which was to level up our stealth. And thank God for that, because I just witnessed what happens when you get caught by these guys. I let the massacre play out while running around like a deranged person. When they left, that was my cue to go in and steal the spoils. Or so I thought. A couple of them decided to go brain dead instead of marching off like the rest. Though it became apparently clear why they didn't leave. They wanted to ensure that all the triangle bandits that they were attacking were all 6 feet under. And once they were, Gorlock went in like the parasitic wasp she is and robbed these poor fellas clean of their wares and weapons. I also noticed that one of our sacrifices were somehow still alive, so we ended up just kicking him out. Since Gorlock doesn't need no man. But while I was doing so, these guys woke up from their brain dead state and started jumping Gorlock.
First fight. This guy's probably. What the freak? We're swinging in slow-mo, bro.
Since Gorlock had the strength of a peanut, she was unable to swing this giant meaty sword. So she was kicked around by these homeless kung fu masters for several minutes before finally going down. Ah shit. Now that Gorlock was out, I had to wait until she woke back up. And when she did, we began crawling. But I heard these screams over in the distance that caught my attention. But before I could even think about investigating it, a group of hivers began approaching, so I had to leave. If I was smart, but out of curiosity and starvation, Gorlock discovered starving bandits, which were pretty much what she was right now. They had just beaten up a couple of hivers who did have food on them, which was pretty much their heads. It was edible, but not for Gorlock, who preferred more cholesterol in her food. Since there didn't seem to be any food for Gorlock to eat, we were about to leave, until we heard celebration and Kodak Black music over the horizon. It came from this abandoned outpost, and the people inside were having a blast. Like, look at all those screams of joy. I want to join. Who didn't invite Gorlock to the cookout? Actually, never mind. I do not want any part of whatever's going on here. Instead of going deeper into Okran's pride, we headed towards the floodplains. On the way, we did find the same triangle bandits who beat Gorlock up, and we did try to get our revenge.
Okay, I think what we gotta do is just defend. Cause I am not making it. I blocked it. What am I doing, bro?
I don't know how she blocked that, but she did. She actually puts up a really good fight when she's not being jumped. Well, I say that, but now she's being jumped. After seeing Gorlock go down for the second time by these triangle bandits, we had enough. We had to go into the floodplains. I did encounter a really weird phenomenon. There were these flying robots that I couldn't really make out. Okay, this is the first time I've seen them. I'm not sure if it's part of a mod or it's supposed to be in Kenshi. We continued into the floodplains, where it was absolutely breathtaking. On the edge of Floodlands, there was a hut nearby. What I found inside was completely empty besides the foods, clothes, and medicinal things that were pretty much meant for slaves who escaped rebirth. This showed me that there was someone who owned this hut, who cared about slaves and wanted to liberate them. So this gave us hope. This hope allowed Gorlock to sleep peacefully, for once in her life. Now, she did dream. She dreamt of becoming much bigger, something that could devour even the Holy Nation itself. Once Gorlock was all healed up, we headed straight back into the Floodlands. Oh yeah, did I mention, Gorlock was having an absolute buffet last night. The stale bread to her was like a 5-star meal. She hadn't eaten in so long.
Oh my goodness! What is that? What is that? Who's saying that, bro? Who is saying?
If you're like me and you have normal vision instead of night vision, these guys right here are robots. And they're completely crippled. I'm not sure why they're trying to pick a fight with us and saying that they're going to gouge our eyes out, but it does not end well for them.
He's dead. Yo, he just died, bro. This is our first victim.
Gorlock had just experienced her first taste of blood. Well, more like oil, but it felt pretty good. We were approaching the end of the Floodlands and heading into the hidden forest. It's a place that I'm not too informed of. I didn't even know what I was doing or where I was headed. All I knew was that Gorlock had to find salvation, whether it be in obesity or feminism. And holy crap, did we just find salvation, the land of paradise. This was really exciting. Maybe too exciting because I almost ran into a couple of dinosaurs.
Whoa. You don't take another step. Okay, alright.
Yeah, I had no idea what to expect. All I knew was that Gorlock was either going to be beat up or be accepted in. And these girls...
I'm sorry, my sister, but I can't let you leave this place alive without knowing who you are and where you came from. This is private land. What are you doing here?
Turned out to be feminists. Which, if you didn't know yet, Gorlock is also a feminist. She just doesn't look like one. At least, not yet.
Holy Nation territory, we're the only allies you've got. Alright, bet. Yo, she's kind of petty, bro. Yeah, I think it's all women here, right? I think it's all women.
This place was perfect for Gorlock. There was no men because she doesn't need no man, and every woman here was strong and independent. There was so much women, it smelled like the fish market. I became quite terrified though when I encountered a man in one of the bars, which, the fuck? Why is he here? I sent Gorlock to harass him, but he started asking me for drugs. You honestly can't find a better man to represent the male gender. Beside the table where everyone was sitting, there was a really strong looking woman who turned out to be the leader of the Flatsome Ninjas. She had the same hatred for men like I did, so obviously we joined her. Now that we're part of the Flatsome the feminists, I looked around and saw a couple of them training. They got really buff just from hitting these mannequins, and I'm pretty sure these mannequins are supposed to replicate the men that they're about to beat up.
You can train attack. Look at that. Oh my goodness. We're training. We're training, boys. Look how hard everyone's training. You guys see this? No one works as hard as these feminists.
Now, we're not gonna stay here for the rest of our lives, so after looking around for a bit, I sent Gorlock to look for any potential prospects. The biggest ones did catch our eye. While Gorlock was skinny, she doesn't get jealous or envious, because she already knows that she's going to be the biggest one day.
Oh my. Look at the figure, boys. Look at that figure. Holy shit.
I couldn't resist it. I had to recruit 2 more women who had legs that could crush watermelons. It was Angia and Digna. Now that we had some numbers on our hands, we took our lead from the feminists and headed towards the Cannibal Plains. Now, this might seem bad, but I'm actually not planning on feeding anyone to the cannibals. This is just a route that we had to take to reach our destination.
Our village? What the frick?
Some hivers appeared and attacked us. I wasn't sure what to do because I did not want to lose Gorlock, but she decided to take one for the team anyways and led these hivers away. Since they want to beat us so badly that they'll chase us to the ends of the earth, we'll give them a taste of their own medicine, which is in the form of naked cannibals.
Oh, he's done, boys, he's done. He's done, there's no way, bro.
Gorlock successfully got rid of those hivers, and the cannibals themselves didn't find her very appetizing, so she was able to get away scot-free. Now that we had successfully escaped the cannibals and hivers, we reunited with Angia and Digna, who were waiting in Bast. No, bro, her arm just fell off. I have no clue what happened, but Angia's arm just decided to peace out. We began moving through Bast, and honestly, I never realized how active it was. It felt like Jurassic Park because there were dinosaurs, skimmers, and a holy nation roaming around. I also walked past the Ghoul Hunters and United Cities. These guys can be assholes sometimes.
Chill with us, alright?
Now, we have just arrived at the Great Desert. Why the Great Desert? It doesn't have any grub, doesn't have any McDonald's, and doesn't have any calories. But the one thing it does have is miserable people. And if you haven't learned anything throughout history, miserable people are good recruits. While we made our way through the Great Desert, we did have a dog that began chasing us, but I didn't think too much of it. After a bit more walking, I eventually found a camp in the middle of the desert, which out of curiosity, I approached it.
The Empire took my farm, I'm out of food and I'm homeless and you're gonna feed me the venture. Oh my goodness, following and talking.
Now at first, I did not see the red flags. All I knew was that this guy was approaching me very suspiciously before they all began jumping us. I did everything in my power to get away, but Digna was too thick and Angia was passed out. So the only person who got away was Gorlock. Oh yeah, there's that damn dog again. Turns out that dog was part of the rebel farmers. I should have known. One of the farmers did separate from the group, and I ensured that I took my anger out on him. But the rest took notice and quickly came for me.
Heal. Oh, run.
These rebel farmers sent me fleeing again, but the moment I saw 2 of them separate from the main group, I took my chances and began fighting them to the death. Eventually, after Gorlock almost lost her arms and legs, we won.
Alright, we got some heals at least.
Our victory though didn't last very long because just as I was healing Angie and Digna, a few vagrants appeared and began jumping me, and eventually things got even worse from here. I don't know why they're after us, we're all skin above. We're going to be enslaved.
Look, as long as Gorlock doesn't get enslaved, I'm good. Oh, she did get enslaved. Oh, bro, I fucking died. Digna died, bro.